It says AB is a tangent to circle C. AC is 44, AB is 117, and DB is what we're trying to find, okay? So AB is a tangent, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that. And it also says that it's 117. And we know that AC or CA is a radius, and it's 44, right? So hopefully you know that where the tangent intersects the radius is a right angle. And that if we're doing a problem like this and we're looking for, it says DB here, okay, so this is the length we're looking for. So what I want to do is find the whole length of that side. And then I also noticed that CD is 44 as well. Why? Because it is another radius, okay? So what I'm going to do is find all of this right here and then subtract 44 from it to get DB. So we're going to use our formula A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Hopefully you know that this is our C because it's our hypotenuse, that side, okay? So we're going to do 44 squared plus 117 squared equals CB squared, okay? So when we do that, we get 15,625 is equal to CB squared. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So CB is going to be equal to 125. Okay, so that means that whole length right there is 125. So to find DB, we're going to basically do 125 minus 44. So that's our 81. Okay? The next one says the segments in the figure are tangent to the circle. Find the length of M. So notice they both come from the same point. So we know that these two tangents are congruent. So y plus 6 is equal to 2y minus 2. I'm going to subtract y from both sides. So now those y's are gone. So I'm left with a y over here, and I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So the 2's are gone from there, and that's equal to 8. Now, what we noticed with the quiz is that the most common error was people didn't plug things back in. So this is asking us for the length of MN. So to find MN, we're going to plug the 8 back into the equation. So that's going to be 8 plus 6, which is equal to 14. Okay, and then I'm going to check it by putting it in the other one. So we're going to find ML as well, just to check and see if we got the right answer, because if they are the same, then we did get the right answer for y. So that's 16. 2 times 8 is 16 minus 2 is 14. So when you can check it, you should. So this next one says identifying the correct transformation mapping circle B to circle A. So that means B is where we begin and A is where we end. Okay, so that's important. So let's go ahead and count how much we moved left, right, up, down to get from B to A. Okay, so we're going to count 1, 2 left, and then we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Okay. Now, when I look over here to the left, I don't see those words, so I see a vector. So hopefully you remember that 2 left is -2, and 5 down is -5. So we're looking for the vector -2, -5. So that means we can cross out these two answers. And then let's just talk about our dilation. So our dilation, when we're doing dilations, we're always going to look at our radius, okay, when it's a circle. Okay, so, and again, we're going to take our ending over our beginning. And in this case, that's going to be A over B, okay? So let's count this one. This one is 1, and this one is 1, 2, 3. So that means we're going to do 3 over 1, and that's equal to 3. So then we're looking for a dilation factor of 3. That one is 1/3, so that's not the answer. So our answer is C. All right, this next one says, what's the measure of arc LNK? So we got arc LNK is that arc all the way around there. Then it says assume the lines which appear to be diameters actually are diameters. So JM looks to me like a diameter, and so does KN. Okay, so notice that we have a pair of angles that are opposite each other, these two right here. So those are vertical angles. That means they're congruent. So that means that one right there is 25. Now when I do problems like this, I like to find all the missing parts. Okay, so I notice down here that I got half the circle, right? So I'm going to find this one right here by doing 180 minus 25, and that's going to be 155. Okay, so we're going to put 155 right here. And then we're going to look for this one up here. Okay, so notice again, we got that circle. Look at that red line. So that's 180. And then we got these two parts. That's 40 plus 25 is 65. So we're going to do 180 minus 65. And that's going to be 115. Okay, so now we have all our parts labeled. And so again, we're looking for our blue arc. So our blue arc includes the 40 and the 25, and then notice we got the bottom half of our circle. So we could do 65 plus 180, and that's going to be equal to 245. Now I notice another way. Y'all notice that this piece right here is not included. So we could also do 360 minus 115. That's a one-step problem, right? And that is also 245. So it doesn't matter which way you do it. And honestly, it's good if you can have two ways to double check your answer. All right, so this next one says the circle graph shows the favorite genre of music of college students. Find the measure of arc AC. So what we're going to do here is a three-step process. We're going to we're going to find our percent, and that's 38. And then we're going to move the decimal place 2 places to the left, and then we're going to multiply that by 360. Three-step process, guys, okay? So the measure of arc AC is going to be equal to 136. It'd be great if I could actually push the right button. 136.8. And sometimes you're going to get a decimal, and that's fine. Okay, so don't think it's wrong just because you did. All right, so this next one says arc AQR is congruent with arc ST. So doesn't that mean our angles are congruent because those are central angles and arcs? Exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to set these two equations equal to each other, and we're going to then find angle QPR. Okay? So let's go 4x plus 25 equals 5x. I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. So all the x's are gone from there. So 25 is equal to x. Now here again, that's not the question that was being asked. So make sure you guys read questions. Plug that back in. Okay? So that's going to be, to find the measure of angle QPR, we're going to do 4 times 25 plus 25, that's 125, okay? And we can check this. How? By putting it in the other one, okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put it in the other one as well. So we're going to find the measure of angle SPT. They should be equal, right? So 5 times 25 is 125 as well. So again, if you can check it, you should. So this next one says the measure of angle UTV is equal to the angle the measure of angle XTW. So these two angles are congruent. That means their corresponding chords and actually arcs are congruent. Okay, so that means we're going to set those two equations equal to each other. So that's y plus 4 is equal to 2y minus 3. I'm going to subtract y from both sides. So my y's are gone from there, and I got a y over here. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So y is equal to 7. Again, not our answer because it's asking us for wx. So we're going to plug it back in there. Wx is equal to 2 times 7 minus 3. That's 14 minus 3. So that's 11. Wx is equal to 11. Now, once again, I'm going to check it. So I'm going to plug it in the other one. Okay, so I'm going to say UV is equal to 7 plus 4, which is also 11. So yep, checked out. All right, so this next one says find the measure of angle XVW. So XVW is this angle right here, and we know that it has a relationship to the arc that subtends it or intercepts it. Okay, so hopefully you remember that if the vertex is on the circle, then this angle is half the arc. Well, I don't have the arc, but I have 2 of 3 arcs. So can't all 3 added together equal 360. So we're going to do 360 minus the 134 plus the 110. So that's going to be 360 minus 244. So that's going to be so arc XW is equal to 116 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and label it over here. Now, hopefully you know that the measure of the angle the measure of angle XVW is equal to 116 divided by 2, or times 1/2. And that's going to be 58 degrees. Okay? So this next one says find arc GH is right there. Okay, let's find the angle that's it is being subtended by or intercepted by. There's the angle. Well, I don't have that measure up there, do I? I don't have this up here. So hopefully you remember the triangle sum theorem. Do you remember the triangle sum theorem? When you add up all the angles in a triangle that equal 180. Y'all remember that? So what we can do here is 180 minus 75 plus 38, right? Okay, so that's going to be 180 minus 113. So that means that angle is 67 degrees. So I'm going to erase that question mark up there, and I'm going to put 67 up here. So now what do we know about arc GH? So arc GH is equal to 2 times the 67, right? So that's going to be 134 degrees. All right, so this next one says solve for x and y. So we have a quadrilateral inscribed inside a circle. So hopefully you remember that opposite angles here are supplementary, okay? So that means when we add them together, they equal 180. So we're going to do x minus 10 plus 4x minus 20, and that equals 180. We're going to combine our like terms, so that's going to be 5x there, and then minus 30 is equal to 180. We're going to add 30 to both sides. So 5x is equal to 210. We're going to divide both sides by 5. So x is equal to, where's my paper? 42. Okay, so now what I'm going to do with this 42, just to make sure I got the right answer for x, is I'm going to put it back in for the measure of angle 1A and the measure of angle C, okay? So this would be 42 minus 10, that's 32 degrees, right? The other one is going to be 4 times 42 minus 20. Again, put that in your calculator, see what you get. And I got 140. Whoa, pause. 48. Okay, now if I add these two together, what should they equal, guys? They do, right? 180. Okay, yep, there you go. All right, so now we're going to solve for our y's. Again, opposite angles are supplementary, so we're going to go 2y minus 12 plus y minus 6 is equal to 180. Again, looking at our like terms, we get a 3y there. We get a negative 18 there, equals 180. I'm going to add 18 to both sides. So 3y is equal to 198. Divide both sides by 3. So y is equal to 66. Now here again, we're going to put these in and check it, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. So the measure of angle B is equal to 2 times 66 minus 12. Again, put that in your calculator. Let's check it. I got 120 degrees for this one, okay? So if that's 120, the other one should be 60, right? So let's see if it is. So the angle D is equal to 66 minus 6. Yep, that's 60. Okay, so again, when we add those together, they equal 180, and that checks out. All right, so our next one is find arc AB. So arc AB is this arc right here, and we have the angle that is being subtended by that arc, right? That one right there. So what are we going to do? So when we're trying to find arc AB, we're going to multiply the angle times 2. So right, 2 times 101 is equal to 202 degrees, okay? Now for this one over here, the measure of angle 1. So notice we really need this arc right here, right? And we don't have it. So what do we need to do to get it? And I'm going to show you two ways to do this one actually. So we're going to go 360 minus 248, and that's going to give us 112, right? So that means this arc right here is 112. So how would I find the angle? So the measure of angle 1 is equal to 112 divided by 2, which is 56 degrees, right? Now that's one way to solve it. Now the other thing we could have done is we could have taken half of this. And so if we take half of 248, that's 124, right? So that's 124 up there. And so what we could have also done is done 180. Remember, this is a straight line right here, and we got those two angles. So we got to 180 minus 124, which would have also given us 56 degrees. Okay, so there's two ways to do that problem. It doesn't matter which one you do. All right, so here's our next two. So to find measure of angle 1 with number 11, we have an arc, and we have an arc, and those two arcs added together divided by 2 are going to equal these two angles that are congruent right here. So the measure of angle 1 is equal to 120 plus 98 divided by 2. That's going to be equal to 218 divided by 2. So the measure of angle 1 is going to be equal to 109 degrees. Okay. Now the letter B is a little bit different because on this one we're looking for this angle here, and it is a linear pair with that angle. So what I want to find right now is these two angles right here, and then we're going to subtract them from 180 to find the measure of angle 1. So to find question mark, we're going to do 53 plus 41 divided by 2. That's 94 divided by 2, which is 47. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in our drawing. 47 goes right here. And notice again, we have that these two angles form a line, right? So to find the measure of angle 1, we're going to take 180 minus the 47. So the measure of angle 1 is equal to 113 degrees. All right, so the next one, we have a formula that we use for all of these. The first drawing here, number 12 right here, A is a tangent and a secant. This one is two secants, and these are two tangents. So we're going to do our outside arc minus our inside arc divided by 2, and that's going to be equal to our angle. Okay, that's our formula. So outside arc minus inside arc divided by 2 equals the angle. So we're going to do 118 minus x divided by 2, that equals 24. Okay, so I noticed that I need to get rid of that 2 that's in the denominator, so we're going to multiply both sides by 2. So that's going to give me 118 minus x equals 48. And then I'm going to subtract 118 from both sides. So that's now gone from there. So that's negative x equals negative 70. So now we could either multiply or divide both sides by negative 1. So x is going to be equal to 70 here. Okay, so x equals 70. And you could check it. 118 minus 70 divided by 2 is, guess what? It is 118. Okay, so on this one, it says find the measure of this angle. Okay, and it says arc PQ is 111. Arc OQ is 90. And arc NO is 99. Well, it looks like we have our outside arc here, but we don't have our inside arc. So how are we going to find it? Well, we got 3 of 4 arcs, and all of them have to add up to be 360. So can't we go 360 minus whatever 111 plus 90 plus 99 is? So that's going to be 360 minus 300. And this is to find the measure of arc NP, right? So this is going to be equal to 60. So let's put our 60 right there. Okay, so now here we go. We're going to do our outside minus inside. 90 minus 60 divided by 2. So that's going to be 30 divided by 2. So that's going to be 15 degrees for the measure of angle NMP. It's 15 degrees. Okay. All right, so the next one, arc outside minus inside. So we're doing outside minus inside. We have inside, but it looks like we don't have outside this time. And this is tangents, okay? So they touch them at one point. So that means to find this outside arc, we're just going to do 360 minus 142, okay, to find that right there, okay? So 360 minus 142, so our arc BC is going to be equal to 218 degrees, right? So we're going to put it out here, 218 degrees, okay? So we're going to do, to find our angle, we're going to go 218 minus 142 divided by 2, and that was 76 divided by 2. So the measure of angle BAC is equal to 38 degrees. Okay, so the next couple problems, this says find the area of section KLM, and this says find the exact length of arc of the arc. Okay, so on y'all's formula sheet, the area of sector KLM, that formula is in the top right, okay, and it says area equals pi r squared theta over 360. This is the way they represent it, okay, of the sector. Okay, so what we're going to do is notice that this is equal to r, this is equal to theta, okay, because that's always an angle measure. Theta is always an angle measure, guys, okay? So what we're going to do is just populate this formula, okay? So that's going to be pi times 7 squared times 60, and all of that divided by 360. Now remember, we're going to, this says round to the nearest hundredth, so we're going to actually multiply by pi, okay? So you can actually do exactly what's up on top and then divide it all by 360. And so, and I don't know if you're like me, I typically just wait to the end to multiply by pi. So this is 8.17 is what's in the, it's really 6666. And then we're going to multiply that by pi. So our answer actually, because it says round to the nearest hundredth, is 25.66 inches squared. And this is inches squared because it's area, okay? So now let's look at this other one. This one on the formula sheet is on the left-hand column, okay? And this one says the length of the arc is equal to 2 pi theta divided by 360, okay? Again, this is where it's at on the formula sheet. So it says find the exact length of the arc. So again, this is our radius. This is equal to our theta, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to say our length is equal to 2 times pi. We're going to leave pi this time, so I'm going to make it a different color because it says exact length. If it says exact length, we're going to leave pi in the answer. Okay, then we're going to multiply that by 135 and then divide by 360. Okay, so my suggestion is that you do 2 times 135 divided by 360. Okay, and when you do that, I got 6.75 pi is the length. And if you want, now look, if you have answer choices, again, figure out which one is 6.75, okay? So in this case, if you have a TI 83 or 84, you can just push math 1 on 6.75, and it'll show you that it's 27 divided by 4, and this is kilometers, okay? So, and actually, let me put the pi here because it still has the pi in the answer, okay? Because it's our exact. Okay, we got a couple more down here at the bottom. Sorry. Skip to the next page when I didn't need to. All right, so to me, this is easy, okay? So all you do when you're converting from degrees to radians is take 45, divide it by 180, find out what that is in your calculator, and most of you see 0.25, right? So we don't leave it that way, so we know that that's 1/4, right? So we're going to put our pi on top, so that's our radians right there, okay? Sometimes pi is on the outside, but this is pi over 4 radians, and most of y'all know that 0.25 is 1/4, okay? So this next one says convert radians to degrees. So we're always going to take our pi, and that's equal to 180, right? So we're going to do 180 divided by 3, and everybody should know that that's 60 degrees. And we are done.